For today, the video concerns all Malaysians. A 92-year-old man went on camera and cried and cried and cried. Millions of gullible Malaysians believe him. Even though Tan Teng Boo says no, he cannot be trusted. Well, anyway, less than 2 years later, February 2020, the 7th Prime Minister proved Tan Teng Boo correct, that he cannot be trusted. Do you want Malaysia to go through those turbulent years again? Malaysia's luck can run out. The next phase of political chaos, I promise you, will have far greater consequences than that from 2018 to 2022. That I promise you.
Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim indicating the possibility of a snap election.
The political cooperation in the unity government should not be mistaken for weakness. That was a warning that he shot to his rivals.
There's no point to be in a party that does not have a sense of justice, a sense of fairness.
Dan saya renung, kalau benar, mungkin saya fikirkan kita lempar biar rakyat memutuskan keseluruhannya.
Hi, good morning everyone. Teng Boo from Capital Dynamics, our regular Saturday YouTube video. For today, the video concerns all Malaysians, male, female, Chinese, Malay, Indians, Ibans, Kadazan, young, old. And I would want to say again, please share our video as much as you can. And of course, give your comments, and if you like it, put a tick, and make sure that the message is spread across the whole country. Because our topic today is really of great, I suppose, is the most important topic for all Malaysians. And it will be presented in 3 parts. Today will be part 1, there'll be part 2, and part 3. You know, there's this belief in so-called democracy, in countries that practice democracy. There's this belief that if the current government disappoints, then the next government surely will be better. We in Malaysia has indulged in this daydreaming, this fantasy before. The results, the consequences were not pretty. So there's talk, even in a coffee shop, or in the media, or in social media, that Malaysia might soon be having a snap election. So before you get swept up, before you get this election fever, I would like to plead with you, and please share this video, to watch the video for today, the first part. Before I go into that, let me just quickly remind you all that this impersonation of Tan Teng Boo, of my company, of our logo, is still very, very persistent. These are some of the images that are used in TikTok, that are used in WhatsApp, to lure people, for you to click into the WhatsApp and trap you, and then to scam you of whatever hard-earned savings that you have. If you have too much money that you don't mind being scammed by impersonators, please donate it generously to deserving people, but not to the scammers. So you see, they use Facebook, they use WhatsApp, and of course they put my face and so on and so forth. That's why I don't use WhatsApp. I use WeChat because WeChat is far superior to WhatsApp. It is an excellent alternative. And if you can, start using it. Because in the case of WeChat, if I want to get connected to you, I cannot just send a message to you, not like in WhatsApp. I have to invite you. And from your phone, you can see where the invitation is coming from. If you don't feel secure, you don't accept my invitation, and therefore we cannot get connected. If you know that this message comes from somebody you know, and it's a genuine message, you accept the invitation and you get connected. WeChat has 0% scam. So I do not know why people keep using WhatsApp. It's like, you know that this tool is something that can hurt you, can harm you, and you keep on using the same tool when there's a better tool, a much safer tool, please don't fall for scams, don't fall for fake messages. The same applies to elections. Don't fall for false manifestos. Don't fall for promises that are populist in nature, that wants to win your votes and after that make your life miserable. The fake, the scams are not just in social media like WhatsApp and Facebook. The fakes, the falsities, the scams, a lot of them come from our politicians. So you, as a voter, you got to be smart. Think carefully. Think long term. The success of a country, of any country, is not a one election cycle phenomena. You've seen classic examples. Countries like Singapore, countries like China, they plan decades ahead. And then on the other hand, you look at countries like Thailand, Philippines, where political turmoil is the name of the game. And their countries, the people, the ordinary people, suffer. So, I do not know whether there's going to be a snap election or what. I hope there isn't one. But should there be, think with facts. And if you like us to present your videos to discuss the issues involved, let us know. We'll be more than happy to do it in an objective, politically neutral manner. Now, part one today is concerning what it was like not too long ago. Because I think as you listen to the coffee shop talk, as you listen to all kinds of discussions, people have forgotten what Malaysia had to go through not that long ago. The question is, do you want Malaysia to go through those turbulent years again? Do you want Malaysia to go down the drain? That is the question. That is something that only you can decide. Choose the right leaders, choose the right politicians, you get a wonderfully successful country. You choose the wrong politicians with all kinds of fake claims, short-term benefits to you at the expense of the whole country, or to just benefit a certain segment of the community. Then you will have a rotten country, a rotten future. It all depends on you as a Malaysian voter. So before I get too dramatic and too emotional, let me just run through with you very quickly what Malaysia has been like. Two ex-Malaysian ministers, you know who they are, decided to resign, form a new party, PBM. Well, you can figure out what it stands for. Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim says he's ready to call general election and fight Barisan Nasional after it signals its intent to go solo in Johor. Johor must have the state election by 2027. Then Prime Minister Anwar met with the King amidst talk of early elections, as tensions in the ruling alliance, not just the ruling alliance, but almost the whole country, deepen. Let me just share with you this video and see what is happening.
Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim indicating the possibility of a snap election a day after the Johor Chief Minister announced that Barisan Nasional will contest all seats in the upcoming state election. The southern state is not due for polls until June next year, but speculation for an early election in Malaysia has been heating up. Pakatan Harapan, the coalition led by Mr. Anwar, held its national convention in Johor Bahru today, a gathering usually staged in the lead-up to elections. Pakatan Harapan and Barisan Nasional form a unity government at the federal level following the 2022 general election. They later extended that cooperation across 6 state elections held in 2023. While Malaysia's general election is not due till February 2028 and several state polls only due to end their term next year.
Now just a quick rewind. The years that we would rather forget, the years that I definitely do not want Malaysia to go through again, because we don't have to. 9 May 2018, general election, the 14th general election, PH won. First change of government in 61 years. The fourth Prime Minister became the seventh Prime Minister. He promised that it will be transitional and he will hand power to Anwar Ibrahim. You know, I wrote that time in somewhere in the social media, just a few months after PH became government, because there were so many Malaysians of different races that were so excited that the fourth Prime Minister would become a true Prime Minister of the country. I said, no, leopards don't change their spots. And I got scolded. I basically told whoever it is that was in discussion, in debate with me, I said, he cannot be trusted. I got scolded. And they said, no, he deserves a second chance. Anyway, I was proven right. Not very long after that. June 2018, GST abolished. Then, annual revenue shortfall begins. 20 billion. Government has to depend on Petronas for dividends. November 2018, PH announced plans to ratify ICERD. Then UMNO and PAS declared it threatens Bumiputra rights and Islam's positions. That's democracy. 8 December 2018, hundreds of thousands gathered at Dataran Merdeka in white to protest this anti-Bumiputra and supposedly anti-Bumiputra, anti-Islam position. And the government folded even before the rally happens. Protest turns into a Thanksgiving gathering. June 2019, sex video allegedly showing Asmin Ali, whatever he was doing, circulated to journalists and politicians via WhatsApp. PKR tears itself apart publicly. And then the seventh Prime Minister, of course, refuses to act. He loves it. September 2019, UMNO and PAS formed Muafakat Nasional. Two long-time rivals in terms of political philosophy, in terms of economic philosophy, in terms of ideology, unite just for short-term political games under one Malay-Muslim political banner. But you know what happened after that, right? Mid-2019, Pakatan Harapan support falls to only 39%. By-elections in Cameron Highlands, Semenyih Rantau lost. End of 2019, Tanjung Piah by-election, Pakatan Harapan lost by nearly 15,000 votes. The largest by-election defeat in Malaysian history. Early 2020, the struggle between Anwar and Mahathir reaches breaking point. Bersatu announces it is leaving Pakatan Harapan. 11 PKR lawmakers quit. Coalition loses parliamentary majority immediately. 23rd February 2020, at the beginning of COVID pandemic, we have the Sheraton move, named after the Sheraton PJ Hotel, to engineer the collapse of the government. Asmin Ali led his PKR faction out, Bersatu followed. 24th February 2020, Malaysians were able to witness the most hypocritical performance I've ever seen. The seventh Prime Minister resigned the next morning because he was expecting his reappointment on his own terms. He got nothing. But whether he got anything, that's beside the point. The point is, you became a Prime Minister not because people chose you, people elected, UMNO got some seats, Keadilan got some seats, Amanah got some seats, DAP got some seats, based on those victories. And they sort of let the past be forgiven and agreed to make you the fourth Prime Minister to be the seventh Prime Minister. So it turns out that the seventh Prime Minister turns out to be as useless as the fourth Prime Minister. And that's the beginning of a period of unprecedented political turmoil in Malaysia. Muhyiddin Yassin, 1 month later, was appointed as the 8th Prime Minister. No election, no mandate from the people. Ringgit fell 4% within days. March 2020, of course, the MCO declared economy devastated. Not surprising. 2020, Malaysia's economy contracted by 5.5%. Foreign direct investment collapsed. Well, given that that was a pandemic year, we can forgive that kind of economic figures, right? January 2021, Parliament suspended, the first time since the 1969 May incident. Muhyiddin ruled by ordinance with no parliamentary oversight. From January to August 2021, amidst a very severe pandemic, Malaysians were told that you can withdraw from your EPF. There were 3 EPF withdrawal schemes, and 101 billion ringgit were withdrawn by 7.34 million members. Nearly half of EPF members under 55 were left with less than 10,000 ringgit, equivalent to only 42 ringgit a month in retirement. What freaking kind of policy is that? You helping the ordinary people by robbing them, asking them to rob themselves? That is your government policy. July 2021, Bendera Putih. Those who do not understand Bendera Putih, white flags. White flags appear spontaneously outside homes across Malaysia. Because why? Malaysian families were so desperate, they were signaling that they have run out of food, no money. White flags. August 2021, Barisan Nasional withdraw support from Muhyiddin. He resigned. Only 17 months in office, Malaysia's shortest serving Prime Minister. Same month, Ismail Sabri was appointed as the 9th Prime Minister. Again, no mandate from the people, and the government was propped up by MOU with opposition Pakatan Harapan. December 2021, the Malaysia's worst floods in decades. Dozens of Malaysians died, over 61,000 people displaced. And then, there's on Twitter that when with the hashtag "do not donate to government" trending on Twitter, Ismail Sabri publicly admits weaknesses in his response to the flood disaster. 2022, Malaysia ran out of chicken and cooking oil. Well, partly due to Russia-Ukraine war, partly. Government imposes price ceilings, ban chicken exports, then reverse again. Subsidy spending hit 62 billion, 5 times the year before. October the 10th, 2022, Ismail Sabri dissolves parliament. Driven by who? Ahmad Zahid Hamidi and the UMNO factional pressure. It was called during monsoon season against Anwar Ibrahim's public warning. Then what happened? Can you refresh your memory? 3.5 years ago? Or have you forgotten? November 2022, GE15. The election resulted in a hung parliament. The first time in Malaysian history. You know what's a hung parliament? That means nobody is able to call the shot. Gosh, that was terrible. 24th November 2022, Anwar Ibrahim was sworn in as Malaysia's 10th Prime Minister after intervention by the king and so on and so forth. So fast forward to now, 2026. Are we going to have a snap election? I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no. But that's not important. What's important is what happens after the snap election, if there is one? What happens if we get political turbulence? What happens if we get political instability again? Are we going to go through all that stressful, worrying, destructive period of the 2018 to 2022? Are we going to go through that all over again? Hey, Malaysia, people say it's a lucky country. You know, Malaysia's luck can run out. Don't take that for granted. I think if there is a snap election, which I really hope there isn't, you got to think carefully. This is Malaysia's GDP growth in that critical 4-5 years. Of course, minus 5.5 was because of pandemic. Fair enough, but GDP growth alone is not enough. Let's look at the other next important economic indicator, budget deficit. 2018, 2019, we're about 3%. 2020, we hit 6%. 2021, we hit 6+%. So you want that kind of economy to come back. And don't forget, we currently have the US, Israel, Iran war. We currently have oil and gas prices going up. We currently have huge amount of subsidies paid to petrol. And inflation is beginning to creep up. And not forgetting, we have the geopolitics within US and China. I really shake my head. May 2018, for the first time, the government changed. Malaysians stayed awake until 5 a.m. A 92-year-old man went on camera and cried and cried and cried. You know, these are called crocodile tears. And he promised to save Malaysia. Millions of gullible Malaysians believe him. Even though Tan Teng Bu says no, he cannot be trusted. Well, anyway, less than 2 years later, February 2020, the 7th Prime Minister proved Tan Teng Bu correct, that he cannot be trusted. So, watch the rest of the video, because it just to bring back what Malaysia was like. And more importantly, if you as a Malaysian don't think carefully, logically, over the long term for national interest, the next phase of political turbulence, the next phase of political chaos, I promise you, will have far greater consequences than that from 2018 to 2022. That I promise you. Just look at Thailand from 2013 up to now. The whole country Thailand used to be called a tiger economy. Thailand cannot even meow now. Thailand cannot even be a kitten. The GDP, the economic performance has been bad. Look at the Philippines. So, can Malaysia be like Thailand? Can Malaysia be like the Philippines? Yes, of course. If you don't think carefully, make your choices carefully, and the results will be too late for anyone to rectify.
Aku dah tua, umur dah 90 lebih, jadi masa tak banyak. Tetapi setakat yang boleh, aku susah. Sedaya upaya bekerjasama dengan kawan-kawan untuk pulih semula negara kita Malaysia.
Anak muda, anak muda.
The fate of Malaysia's government is in the balance. Soon after Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad sent his resignation to the King, his party announced it was quitting the coalition government. Over the weekend, party members held talks with opposition politicians on forming a new coalition that would block a plan to hand over power to Mahathir's rival Anwar Ibrahim.
Dan untuk itu kerajaan memutuskan untuk melaksanakan perintah kawalan pergerakan mulai 18 Mac 2020 iaitu lusa hingga 31 Mac 2020 di seluruh negara.
Like I said, this is part 1. Watch part 2 and part 3. Next week, it's a long break. It's a long weekend for Malaysians again. We are very pampered. Many long weekends. So next week, there will be no YouTube video. So part 2 will be the week after that. With that, I hope you have a good weekend. And if you can, discuss intelligently, objectively with your family, with your friends, with your colleagues, why we should not have a snap election now. Bye-bye.